Those two guys, they were just so selfless, and they put their own safety at risk.
Tonight, we are learning more about the Case Western Reserve University student who was shot after an attempted carjacking last night. The student is a member of the fraternity Phi Delta Theta and is in good spirits after a successful surgery.
That's right, but we also know this was a close call that could have been much worse if it weren't for the quick actions of two fellow fraternity brothers. Channel 3's Ray Strickland spoke with the fraternity's president, who describes them as heroes tonight.
The attempted carjacking and shooting happened right here in this parking lot, not too far away from the Phi Delta Theta frat house. The president of the fraternity tells me that one of the victim's frat brothers heard him scream his name after the shooting. That frat brother had the wherewithal to call 911. Another frat brother got out the first aid kit intended to the victim's wound. The president of the fraternity tells me without them, things could have been much worse.
My brother just got shot.
In a panic, with the pressure rising as the clock ticks, the 911 call lets you hear the frantic moments after a Case Western Reserve University student was shot.
My friend said he just got shot.
Are you with him now?
Yeah, I'm here with the other guys.
With his life hanging in the balance, Phi Delta Theta's president, Austin Navarrete, says two of his fraternity brothers, Patrick James and Steve Clark, rushed to the victim's aid.
Hey, first aid kit right now.
They got the gauze and just started patching up the wound, and called the ambulance and got them there as soon as possible. They knew that they had to be there because if they didn't help him, he was ultimately going to die.
During a press conference, the university's president praised the two's quick thinking.
People all came together to transform a potential tragedy into an example of courage and compassion.
The suspects shot the victim on Murray Hill Road around 8 o'clock Saturday night. Both of the suspects are in police custody. One of the suspects is in the hospital after he was injured during a shootout with police. Police now increasing patrols around campus. The university also reviewing other options to ensure student safety.
And it's just a crazy scenario that nobody was ever expecting to happen.
Navarrete says the victim has been in the fraternity for about a year and a half. He says he's one of his best friends, and he says the victim will not let this shooting break him.
He's still the same guy that we all know, and he was, for a couple guys in there, he was in there cracking jokes and stuff like that.
Of course, this is a very emotional time for the fraternity here. The president of the fraternity tells me that he invited the director of counseling services to come talk to the victim's frat brothers, but he says that they're going to be okay because the victim in this shooting is a fighter, and he says it's no doubt that he's going to get through this. Reporting in Little Italy, Ray Strickland, Channel 3 News.